come to order. That's how I start, right? I forget. It's been a week or so. We're back with we have no guests this week, but we do have a movie to talk about. This is me. I'm Jeff, the guy that talks first. I'm here with the usuals. The usual suspects are here. What's up, Randall?
Hey, buddy.
Bjorn is back.
Hey, what's up? I'm back.
Right, we're all doing our best.
I never left.
Yeah. As far as you all know,
canceled.
as far as any of the listeners know, business is normal.
But it has not been. We've been fighting illness.
Yeah.
As a group, 2/3 of us were laid out,
and it was such unfortunate timing in that, like, you got sick and then almost completely recovered, and then there was no overlap.
Yeah.
Right, and I just fought it for 10 days.
Yeah.
Where it never really took over, but it was kind of there, dragging me down. But we're back in the studio. We have a movie to talk about, and we will get to it. The movie is called Opportunity Knocks. That's what we're talking about today. It takes place in Chicago, and I was just in Chicago, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. We're going to have some food talk right here at the beginning, because we just did, we're recording this. You'll hear it in a few weeks, but right now is the day after Randall's birthday dinner.
Yep.
We went to Fogo de Chao, Meat Swords.
Yeah.
Brazilian steakhouse, right?
Yep.
That's the premise.
Brazilian steakhouse.
Right, 6. I mean, I tried to count up how many different kinds of meat I had, and I ballparked it at 6, and I think it's more.
I mean, she said when she was giving us the rundown, it's 15 different cuts of meat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shit.
I know we didn't have all of them. I know for a fact we didn't, because I didn't have any chicken, and they usually bring by like 2 or 3 different kinds.
You didn't have any chicken?
I didn't have any
I had
chicken.
2 kinds of chicken, the Parmesan crusted chicken and a bacon wrap chicken. I had a bacon wrap filet.
I had chicken from
lamb,
the salad bar.
Sausage. Really 2 or 3 different kinds of steak that were just called steak, but they were different.
Yeah.
They were clearly different. The servers were a little lacking on detail.
We'll see how long that place lasts.
I had lobster tail, right? We got lobster.
We did have lobster tail.
Added on. I got the indulgence meal.
Yeah, same.
Right, it wasn't my birthday, but whatever. I also figured I eat at that restaurant once every 15 years, so.
Yeah.
And the next time might be longer.
Yeah, right.
I don't eat there because it's like the Brazilian gout house.
Oh,
There's
yeah, you have
it
It sure is.
Like, I could have some of the chicken. That's
Yeah.
it. They didn't have chicken there when I went.
Oh, no.
I mean, I didn't have gout at that point. So this was years ago, but
it's the last time I can do it. So
yeah.
I will say that if you do go and somebody at your table gets the top end, the indulgence one, that's pretty much free game. It's fair game for everybody else at the table, because the person I was sitting next to got a lower tier.
The low tier.
Yeah.
And nothing was said. Because everything that came by was just like, yes, I'll have some. And so apparently I could have got the one that cost half as much and just had the same everything.
Zoe got sea bass, and they were still throwing.
So, right, there's a lot of the attention to detail
Yeah,
at
you
that
just gotta
particular.
go there with a big group and have one person jump on it.
Pretty much.
I can't imagine there's nothing
tier.
to differentiate what you ordered or which tier you were on at the table. So there's your hack for a Brazilian steakhouse. Get the lowest end and then just say yes
One
whenever
person.
they walk by.
One person has to get the highest end, because I think what happens is the people carrying around like the premium cuts are said, don't go to this table if no one orders it.
Yeah.
But if there's fucking 11 people like we had.
That's a detail, and I don't think as far as the 3 hours we were there last night, I don't think any details were paid attention to.
No, they didn't give a shit.
They did a lot of
Cleaning.
the general big picture stuff
Barely.
of they need drinks and food. That was all taken care of pretty well, but the attention to detail was significantly lower. Like,
well,
but who cares?
I mean, they asked me, do you want anything to drink? Yeah, unsweetened iced tea. It's my go-to. I got it 20 minutes later, and then another refill 45 minutes after that. Anybody who ordered anything like a menu item instead of the experience took minimally 30 minutes, if not, no, closer to like 45 to an hour to get that out to them.
So you're saying this place is going to be closed in a year?
That's what we were talking about outside. Like,
yeah, just
dude,
it was little things.
John told them
those are big. Those are big
yes,
things.
and on top of that, but this was a detail Geoff pointed out that he didn't know. I had a clue on too. John went to the restroom as soon as we got there, came out, and he told the server there's no paper towels in the men's room. And then Geoff went in there, I think, at the end of the night.
Yeah,
still no paper towels. 2.5 hours later.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
There was pieces of food on the floor, like meat had fallen off people's plates on the floor the whole night. Like, this all sounds little. Like, I understand. Like, the listeners are probably like, "Who gives a shit?" But like, if there's something on your menu that costs $150, you kind of have a responsibility to at least pretend to be a higher end restaurant.
Yeah.
And leaving food, like just having loose food on the floor, wouldn't fly at Applebee's. Like
right.
when I worked at dog shit restaurants, and this wouldn't work.
Right.
And it's like, when I say little details, they're big details if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're little details when you don't give a shit about your job.
Right.
And this is clear that nobody there gives a shit.
Yeah, you're
No
like,
one gave
if
a
there's
shit.
food out on the floor,
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the kitchen looks like.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we were sitting next to the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
So we could see that.
Right, the kitchen coming apart would be next. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as this like front of the house stuff starts getting missed, then the next level is that. The next level is food quality, food,
But, like,
services.
Geoff had one of the servers crack a "that's what she said" joke at him. I heard the server behind me like dropping F-bombs at the table the whole night.
Nice.
And I'm like, I don't care. Like, this isn't making my experience bad. I am here to have a lot of really good meat, and I had a lot of really good meat. But like, the bare minimum you're going to spend there on dinner on like an individual plate is $40.
Yeah.
Which is high for one item, but most people are going for the $80 to $120 per person option.
Yep.
Right, they have their business model, like, it's definitely a special occasion type restaurant.
Right.
And when you're a special occasion type restaurant, you have a higher level of responsibility than this is where you eat breakfast.
Right.
Right. If I said any of this shit about the Black Bear Diner, I wouldn't say
Pig
it.
and
Right.
pancake.
Yeah.
Like, I
cares?
had a mid experience at Black Bear Diner. I haven't shared it with anyone because I don't care, and I haven't been back.
Right.
That's the level
Yeah.
of effort I'm willing to put into critiquing the Black Bear Diner.
Right. I had a mid experience at Denny's, and I go all the time because that's pretty good for Denny's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got all the way to mid. Good job.
This sounds like the experience I had at an IHOP, and I will never go back. It was horrible. It was
Really?
the worst. Yeah, but what am I doing?
But it's an IHOP.
Why am I going there?
Right.
It was the worst. Like, it's my fault. Like, I shouldn't have gone there. They were just understaffed and
Which
Yeah.
is like,
dumb.
That's
excuse me,
fine.
it's an IHOP.
This place was not understaffed.
It was
there
like-
was a
No.
lot of
Everything was sticky.
employees. Yeah.
Like,
It just seems like whoever's in charge has let go of the rope. And
Which is a shame because that place is really fucking cool.
should have gone to Clyde's, dude. Have you been to Clyde's?
I haven't been to Clyde's.
It's
we should
sick.
go to Clyde's.
It's sick. Have you been there?
I've been there once. I saw it when I first moved here, driving around, and then I just was like, I'm not going there until Troy's here. Because our dad used to say Clyde is like an old burn.
Yeah.
Like, there's a Simpsons episode when they Ned, like, they flash back to Flanders' parents, and the dad says something about all these Clydes or whatever. And it's like,
yeah.
so my dad would do that in place of asshole.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Look at these Clydes or whatever. And we decided it was funny. Then I saw that Clyde's prime rib, and I was like, we're definitely going there. It's fun. That's the kind of place that's like, is in between.
Mm-hmm.
It can be nice. It doesn't have to be. You can dress up. You don't have to.
Yeah, like everyone there was dressed up. There was like a jazz band playing in one corner, and then there's like the other side. It's kind of medieval themed, but not fully.
It feels like
Feels
it's
like an Italian medieval theme.
I was just going to say,
steakhouse.
it feels like it is this old spaghetti factory of steakhouses.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
had a
People
very-
are like dressed up. Like it's pretty. It's cool. We go. Paul loves it.
Yeah.
my reaction to it was it feels like a restaurant in the Valley in LA. Like
Okay.
the building was already there, so they put this in it. It's mostly a restaurant, but also like that bar. Like the later it gets, the more it turns into just like a legit nightclub. Like the thing we see in these movies where there's like a band and dinner and a full bar,
Yeah.
and people are dancing, but also people are eating, and like
That's the vibe, dude.
right. It covers. It's great, and you could buy merch.
Yeah.
Right. So that as soon as you walk in and see a restaurant, if the restaurant sells merch, you could wear shorts.
Yeah.
That's a good rule.
But the food's pretty good. Like
Yeah.
the prime rib is good. They do that thing. That's what they promise to be good, and they deliver on that
Big ass
promise.
sign.
And who knows what the rest of it is, but it's fucking fun. But in Chicago, I had a different food experience on Saturday. We ate at a place called Fire with a fancy chef. What's his name's Grant. So I can't pronounce his last name. I've seen it written, but I don't want to say it wrong. But Alinea, he does Alinea also is one of his locations. And this is like a Michelin star chef. And Fire was everything's smoked. So it's an open kitchen, everything's cooked over embers and whatever. So there was like a smoke haze. The food was incredible, but something in the wood they were using somewhere I was allergic to. So I probably sneezed 40 times. And just up and down, the bathroom is downstairs. So I kept having to go all the way like down a flight of stairs and blow my nose and sneeze some more and come back up. And then, so I probably went to the bathroom 12 times in 2 hours.
Just going up and down stairs the whole time,
Just,
too.
right.
What's Jeff doing in the bathroom? Oh, he's knows stuff.
He's dying.
I
He's
mean,
dying.
yeah, somebody made that joke, and it's the joke that somebody makes when you don't actually do cocaine.
Right.
You just heard that it's done in the bathroom.
Right.
Exactly.
Who are you doing cocaine? I've been down there a dozen times in 90 minutes, and I'm still eating my food. So of course I'm not doing cocaine. Are you nuts? Like even if you're just a fucking straight up coke addict, you would still probably only go to that bathroom twice in 2 hours, and also not eat all the food. I would just try not to sneeze at the table, and I pulled that off
Fair.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. But the food was incredible in the chef, and then the chef followed me on Instagram, and since he followed me on Instagram, 3 other like big time checkmark chefs also started following me. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if they all work with him or
Coattails.
they just saw.
There's opener.
Right, they just saw him.
they just go around and open for him.
They're just so everything's so
feature chefs.
competitive.
Yeah,
That
they're the feature chefs.
he adds somebody to his list of people he's followed, or they just assume they don't want him to get that competitive advantage
Yeah.
in case whatever I do is involved in their business. It is not, but they don't know that yet. But I had some wild shit. It's a tasting menu, which is always a little scary for me
Yeah.
Why? Why is the tasting menu scary for you?
because you don't order. You're
There
not
might
in
be
charge
onions
of,
on it.
Yeah. Onions is the thing I talk about because of the attitude behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't like, there's stuff I don't like to eat.
Yeah.
So, and you just never know
Mhm.
when they're like, oh, we're just going to bring out the courses, and you're like, okay. And then they'll tell you, it'll be like, I guess, I hope this is good. And I ate all of it. There was one thing that had onions in it, but,
Oh, that's right.
Tom knows that I don't like it, so I ate like the top half because it was all the onion stuff was in the thing at the bottom, the sauce or whatever. Burnt onions is what it said on the menu. Burnt
That
onions.
Fantastic.
I know it was probably great
So good.
for people who like onions,
I
but
like onions.
Tom knows I don't like onions. So when that got set down, he was like, "That's got onions. Don't eat the bottom. Slide it over." Like he just doesn't want to. Makes it so that I don't have to be embarrassed. That it's pretty great.
That's awesome.
So we just like slyly swapped plates after I ate the top half with no onions. It was great. And then we just switched so that it didn't look like I didn't finish it. And it was so good that I can't imagine if somebody did like onions, the third bite of it would not be an issue because they
Okay.
were also pretty small. all the plates were little bites. There was a piece of fish on it that was so good it made me mad. Like I like to eat fish, and this is too good. So now what I'm going to do the next 10 times
go
I eat
in and
fish,
kill the
it's
chef
bad.
like Johnny Depp. And,
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
You're like, it's too good.
Puerto
I gotta keep the
Pabil.
balance, dude.
I have to tell you a quick. I fucking hope this translates to funny. I had a quick moment last night. It was such a great life bit to actually live out. So getting towards the end of the night, Posse sitting next to me, and full, right? And I look at him, I'm like, I'm having a moment right now where my body is telling me that I can't keep eating, and my brain can't fight it. And then the second that last word came out of my mouth, someone came around to my right side and said, "Top sirloin?" I went, "Yeah, right here."
Right, so your brain and your body are like, please don't, but your mouth is still like, sure.
Yeah.
Just put it on the plate. I paid for it. It's all you can eat. I paid for it. Just keep putting stuff on my plate. I'll decide when I'm done eating, but that doesn't mean I'm not done getting stuff.
Yeah. I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We had fucking brulee cheesecake at the end, too. Good God.
Damn. That sounds
Yeah, I
good.
could have put that together in my head when I saw it on the menu, what that would be, so I got the chocolate thing.
Which was so good.
But once I saw the cheesecake, I was like, oh, I should have got that. That's fucking looks great. But I only got dessert because it came with the indulgence package. I tried to just get the other one and add the lobster tail, and the server was like, but if you get this, it comes with the dessert, and it's only a couple bucks more. And I'm like, but I don't want the dessert. She's like, but it's only a couple bucks more. And I was like, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. So sure.
Like, no.
Whatever makes this stop. But I understand that I will only save $2. But those are still my $2.
I could tell she did not want to be there that night.
Yeah,
she was not.
It was a real drag. And then she probably I know how we do.
Yeah.
I know what she made off me and Sean. And if the rest held even close, then we probably paid her rent.
Yeah. Easily.
So, whatever. Be nicer.
Just be a little nicer. Yeah.
Just be a little better at pretending. You're at work.
Yeah.
I don't assume you want to be there, but I
Right.
also don't have to know you don't.
Right.
Let me assume you do. Right? Like let's all just pretend this is fun. I could do that.
All right, we should talk about this movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. So, Opportunity Knocks. I'm going to put it in context before Randy does the recap. Opportunity Knocks came out April 1st, 1990. It debuted at number 5 that week. The number 1 movie that week was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Then Pretty Woman, The Hunt for Red October, Driving Miss Daisy, Opportunity Knocks, Joe versus the Volcano, Nuns on the Run, House Party, Lord of the Flies, and My Left Foot.
Okay.
I've seen some of these movies.
My Left Foot. Is that diabetes movie?
Yeah. I think it is. It's very sad. The guy he got into running too late.
That pre-Fontaine.
We'll probably
Post-Fontaine.
do
Damn it. There it is. That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
Post-Fontaine, right?
Yeah, that was the joke. Ah! Damn it.
That's okay. We'll fix it.
Came out wrong. Can you just edit that, please?
No, absolutely not.
Edit it back with the right punchline.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No, we'll probably do Nuns on the Run at some point. That was a movie me and Troy liked a lot when we were kids. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles we'll do, even though it's probably the biggest hit of all the movies we'll have done. But we'll definitely do that.
Right. It is like it is not a great movie. Like it's not like a classic, like awesome movie when you rewatch it. It's absolutely a Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Afternoon movie.
It feels like that's what they were making it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just ended up being a
Huge.
big hit. And also I do like it. I do think it's a pretty good movie. but we'll do. That's not what we're talking about today.
We're not. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Casey Jones and all that.
Right. Opportunity Knocks. It made $11.36 million at the box office. Not that week in general. So not great.
God damn.
Roger Ebert gave it 2.5 stars. IMDb 6.0. And Rotten Tomatoes, critics 11%, audience 48%.
I'm with the critics.
Right? We're at an impasse, Randy. We'll get to it. This movie stars Dana Carvey. It's the first movie he starred in. He'd been in a few things. He was in Spinal Tap. He was on the Blue Thunder television show. And then this movie he made between his second and third season on Saturday Night Live. It also stars Robert Loggia, Todd Graff, Julia Campbell, Milo O'Shea, Doris Belak. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she's in the movie. Del Close is in this movie. James Tolkien. And John M. Watson Sr. I'm only mentioning his name because he plays the character called Harold. And he was also the bartender in Groundhog Day. So I love that guy. Whenever he shows up in something, I really dig him. Milo O'Shea was on Cheers. He was on an episode of Cheers. He was the minister because they got to marry the Woody and Kelly. He officiated Woody and Kelly's wedding. Where Todd Graff. Here I got some info on Todd Graff. He was in some movies. He was also apparently a singer.
Okay.
He played Lou. He was Dana Carvey's command partner. He wrote The Vanishing, that Jeff Bridges, Kiefer Sutherland, Sandra Bullock movie from the early 90s. He wrote that movie. He was also one of the original kid voices singing on the Sesame Street theme song in the 60s whenever Sesame Street premiered. And he was a backup singer for the likes of James Taylor, Carly Simon, Pete Seeger, and Peggy Lee.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julia, what's her name? Julia Campbell plays the female love interest of Dana Carvey. She is probably best known for being the mean girl in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
I was just looking up how I know her, and I've only seen Romeo and Michelle's once, but that, memorable.
Right, and she was in the Frogger episode of Seinfeld. So those are the two things that I would recognize her from. Robert Loggia, I know from this movie.
Oh, this is your touchstone.
This is my touchstone for Robert Loggia. I was a big fan of this movie when it came out. And me and Troy watched it a lot. So I'm excited to do it, to talk about it today.
My touchstone is, I'm just going to share it, is Scarface for him.
For Robert Loggia?
Yeah.
Mine's Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, Independence Day?
Yeah.
I forgot he's in Independence Day.
Yeah, he's in Independence Day.
Right, all these movies. I didn't see Scarface until, I'd seen Independence Day before I saw Scarface. So
I saw Scarface last year.
Late 90s.
That's just my touchstone. I saw the Scarface later, but when I think of him, I think of that character.
Yeah.
Oh man, even the first time I watched Scarface, the whole time I just like Milt Malkin is full of hot air. Just played in my head. That's his name. I can say it to Troy. Milt Malkin, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I forgot what I was looking for. Oh, here's my question. That I want to add. We'll add this to the end for later episodes, but right now I'm going to spring it on you guys. Who in this movie would you want to be?
Oh, like what character would I want to play?
Yeah, or if it's real life or whatever. Like which one of these lives would you want?
David,
the guy who
owns the house.
The guy who owns the house.
Owns the house. It just fucked off for all of the movie.
He fucked off he was in India for months. Has a rad house with pinball machines and football phones and a giant stereo. Fuck yeah, I want to be David. Yeah,
right. The time frame of this movie is a little suspicious because so I guess the movie takes place over several months. That doesn't seem
It seems like it takes place over maybe a week.
Yeah, it seems like over a week, but also the beginning, like we'll get to it when we get to the recap, but it does seem like he's supposed to be gone for a long time. So maybe he comes back early. Who knows? But yeah, that's good.
Do
What
I
about
have
you?
a- I mean, like, I hate being in, I would never get myself in that kind of predicament, but it did seem really fun to be the Dana Carvey character.
Yeah.
Like, and get to do all these weird voices and play characters and scam people,
Right.
but not be a burglar, just a scammer.
Oh yeah,
I'm a con man, not a burglar.
yeah. They have. It is
have a
funny
code.
when criminals have their. It happens in the books and stuff. Like a lot of stuff I like, they have their specific. Well, I don't do that. That's real crime.
That's a real crime.
I do
Right.
this thing where I just talk them into giving me stuff,
And then
which is
steal
less
their
of a
TV.
feels like less of a crime. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But then they also did that. They did that.
Yeah, it's like
How
I'm
is
not
that
I'm not a
different?
burglar unless I do it in front of the people I'm burglaring.
I have to be more like a magician of burglars.
Yeah, that's fine. I take that. Breaking in,
Not breaking in. I'm taking it while they're still
Yeah.
home.
breaking in is wrong. This is fine.
I'll steal their watch, their wallet, their earrings, but not break a window.
Oh, I know. It's fun.
Impersonation? Yes.
Right, I think the Dana Carvey part would be fun to be in real life. It'd be exciting.
That's just such a shithole apartment.
Oh yeah,
That was the only thing that turned me off this character.
I would just be too stressed all the time that I was going to get caught.
Yeah.
That's the part that I don't know if I could handle.
I think that right. I think if you do that, you don't have that.
Yeah, you're just like, that's missing.
Yeah. So that I'm assuming that I would have his
Yeah.
point of view.
I like that. Yeah. I wish I didn't have that. That would be
Right, I
great.
would be Eddie. I wouldn't be Jeff doing Eddie stuff. I would be the Eddie. I would just be Eddie,
just be Eddie. Yeah.
being fine with it, being like, and fully understanding the difference between I don't break in, I talk them into giving them to me.
Right.
Because on the outside, you're like, come on, what's really the difference? But I guess if you were a criminal and you have your own lines like that,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, who cares? There's all that, the Donna Westlake books and stuff. I'm pretty used to that as a criminal point of view. But all right, so we answered those. Okay, so that's my new question. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll never come up again.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe it will. I like it.
But we'll see. All right, so now we are at the recap part.
Oh,
Let's find
fun.
out what this movie is about.
So this one's a little bit longer because I had to account for 50,000 fucking plot points to make it make sense. So
Really?
Really? I feel like it's.
I can't wait
okay.
to. I can't
I'm
wait.
Excited.
I can't wait to find out you watched a different movie.
Dana Carvey and Robert Loggia were in another movie called Opportunity Knocks.
Accidentally watched the extended cut.
Yeah, right.
A
It's
4-hour version.
Opportunity
of this
Knocks
movie.
Traffic 2.
It's the movie in real time.
Yeah. Still watching it. All right. So, two Chicago con men, Eddie and Lou, played by Dana Carvey and Todd Graff, terrorize Chicago through misfit schemes of getting hit by cars and posing as gas men to steal from unsuspecting dumb men. After a successful con involving the former, Lou gets caught by a loan shark or gangster or someone, never really clear, and has his life threatened unless he can come up with $700 in 24 hours.
It's a second heavy. I don't mean to interrupt, but it's a second heavy. If this movie was a real thriller and not a comedy thriller, that would have been James Gandolfini at that time. Like,
Yeah.
that's the guy, because he was the main bad guy's strong man or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what Gandolfini did for the first till The Sopranos, basically.
Right. The two decide they're going to pull a very dumb gas man routine and get caught trying to steal a TV by the residents of a home. As they flee, they see a house that's blacked out with paper stacked outside, indicating there's no one home. They decide to break in and see if there's anything inside worth the money they owe, and find that it's a sweet little party house owned by a rich guy who's in India for a few months.
Also, by the way, the money they owe is about $700.
Yeah,
At that point, that's it.
that's not bad,
It's not.
especially for that time.
Right.
Right.
They, for whatever reason, decide to check his voicemail and find that this guy's house sitter took another job and will not be coming to house sit, leaving them in the clear to use the house for upcoming hijinks that they are not yet aware of. The next day, they somehow come up with the money that they owe to the shark, pay him back, insult him by making a trick shot on a pool table where they are paying him back, then take his car for a joyride where they ditch it on a bridge for $60,000 in a briefcase belonging to the mob boss, Principal Strickland, is stolen along with the rest of the parts of the car. Strickland,
everything.
I'm calling him Strickland because it's the point of reference I have for him.
Understood.
Strickland puts a hit out on the two con men. They stumble back to their maybe shared apartment to find two hitmen there to greet them. They run, get separated, and make their way back to the house they broke into, Eddie beating Lou to the place by a day. The next morning, he wakes up to putz around the house and gets discovered by Milt and Mona, played by Robert Loggia and...
Oh, where did her name go? Doris Belak.
Thank you. Neighbors of the homeowner and friends of Jonathan, the originally booked house sitter. They have their meet and greet exchange where Eddie tries to pass himself off as Jonathan, and they take him out to a very fancy lunch. There, he steals the entire inventory of an unsuspecting bathroom attendant until we meet Milt and Mona's daughter, who they are obviously trying to set Eddie up with. The last part of the plot, until the third act, that's necessary to know, is that Milt's company makes bathroom hand blowers, and he has a fuck ton of money in a safe in his office. That's the last part of the important part of the plot.
Right, it's Chekhov's 180 grand.
Right. From there, the rest of the movie is Eddie faking his way through knowing this lovely rich couple until he lands a job as VP of sales for the company while he gains the trust and falls in love with Milton Mona's daughter, Annie. This all comes to a head when Mr. Strickland shows up to collect his money. Eddie steals the huge sum of cash out of Milt's safe to repay the money and pocket the rest. We also find out that Mr. Strickland owns a demolition company that Eddie cons to blow up a building for $750,000 to repay Milt and convince Annie that he is a good person. If this is confusing, it was to me too. Of course, just like any late 80s comedy over her... Wow, I wrote this like shit. Just like any late 80s comedy, through one of her patients, because she's a doctor, he talks Annie into believing that he's a good person and to marry him. Annie says no at first, but then caves, and they all live happily ever after. Fuck this movie.
I want to go back to so he gives him the 100. He owes him 60 grand, gives him the 180 to keep him alive. Like promises them 180 grand to keep themselves alive. Steals it out of the safe, gives it to him, and then sets him up for a con with the building commissioner, where the pitch is the commissioner is corrupt and wants a kickback. So there is a $250,000 kickback,
right, for
a $1.3 million job to destroy a building,
which I think it's like the IRS
in
building.
The story, it's the IRS building. In real life, it was just stock footage of a building from Dallas.
Yes,
but yeah, they talk him into blowing that building up. So, and then they keep the 250, and he goes to jail for that. He's like facing 300 years of time for all the stuff he did.
Well, initially it's once $175,000, and the whole thing is going to be a $750,000 job, and then he ropes in his uncle, who we meet earlier in the movie. Ropes in his uncle to help him with the con. And there, he ups it to $250,000, guaranteeing a $1.3 million payout. So they con him out of the $250,000.
It's great. I mean, that was always going to happen because 175 is less than 180. So they were always going to do something to try to get, that, like, just watching the movie, that con is designed to get the money back that he stole. So they were always going to change it and move it up. I like con man movies. There was less con man stuff in this than I wanted, but more than most movies.
But they didn't have a lot of, there wasn't like a ton of tension. Usually there's like a lot of tension of like them almost getting caught. And what I liked is there wasn't a lot of that. It was just kind of silly.
Yeah, they borrowed the office for just enough time.
Yeah.
And had a plausible reason to leave it before they got caught.
I did love that they made the piece of shit mob boss actually blow up the building, so there were stakes for him to never return or get his revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think the scene with Pinky, the Gandolfini, the second heavy. So he fights him at the bowling alley, and then the mob boss Strictly gets mad and throws him off a bridge. And then the next time you see him, he's got a neck brace and his arm is in a sling, but one of those with a stick that holds it off his body. He's got a cast on his leg too. And
he's at a bar.
Then also we never see him again after that moment. He's out of the movie.
Yeah.
And we only see the mob boss twice. Like maybe there's a phone call and then
we see him when he discovers the car, and we set up the fact that there's 60 grand in the trunk. And then we see when...
Right, and then the two scenes at the end that are kind of back to back.
Right.
Where he kidnaps Lou.
In his office, in David's house, and then on the parking garage.
So there was one thing in this that I was confused about, was the older guy getting drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't understand, like, what... Was that supposed to add stakes? Like, he's going to mess
he
it
was,
up?
No,
he was nervous.
Oh.
He was nervous about it because he hadn't done it in a while.
I just thought that was going to pay off in a way. And
Well,
it just didn't.
No, it didn't.
That's the thing.
Like,
Like,
he's just a drunk. It's like a,
Oh, okay.
it's
Yeah.
a character trait that doesn't play into it.
Okay.
yeah, they set it up to be like he's going to fuck up the con.
I thought that was going to be like
And then
the
he
third
doesn't.
act twist or something, and then it was just, oh, no, they pulled it off.
No, they
It's
pull it off just fine.
flawlessly.
Right. No, it had some real. It had
Or
rad.
like
It had rad
pretend to
vibes
be drunk
of.
or something. Like, oh, he's doing something that he didn't know. That it's usually that they're like they pretend to be drunk.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he was just.
I
drunk.
did like the whole angle that he slips into an Irish accent when he's drunk. And that would
That's fun.
throw off the whole thing because he was
Oh,
just saying
yeah.
funny, dopey shit in Irish accent.
Oh, maybe that was it. That was the. What it was.
Oh,
a lot,
that was going to be the yeah.
It was like rad, where the obstacles would pop up and they'd be resolved immediately,
so
Right,
quick.
right.
Yeah.
or not come into play.
Yeah.
A possible obstacle would be referenced, and then it doesn't. Nothing happens.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So, I guess should we?
I want to.
I want to talk about our relationship to this movie.
Okay.
So you never, Randy, had you heard of this movie before?
Nope.
All right. So this is your first experience with this at all.
Yep.
That explains some of your reaction. This is the con man movie for 10-year-olds. Like it's
Totally.
not a hard con to follow. If you're a
Totally.
grown up, you would want more from it.
They were just like, man, I don't know. They were just like jokes and angles they took on some of it. And I was just like, this is fucking boring and lazy. It just felt boring and lazy. Half the jokes didn't hit. And I understand in 1990 and really technically the late 80s that Dana Carvey doing back-to-back Indian and then Chinese accents was funny, but it just like didn't contribute anything. Like the whole bit in the car that he does when he's talking to Strickland on the phone in an Indian accent. I'm like, what is this? Who is this for? This doesn't lend. And like, it would be funny if it was doing something, like if it's the George Bush impression, like, but it's
Right,
not
that at least-
contributing fuck all to the story.
You're right. The George Bush thing at least did something.
Right.
Uh,
Even the Chinese voice did something, but he didn't really even have to do that.
He didn't have to do any, like the fact that it was all, he did 3 accents and George Bush, and he's a voice guy, so he could do any voice.
Anything.
And why did it have to be?
And I'm not going to get on his shit for doing those voices in the late 80s, because of course that's what he was going to do. But again, like, it just didn't do anything to the story. It was just there to be there, and that to me is just hack.
Right, because the first two he did, he like accepted the situation instead of, and he could have ignored it, right? Like it was like the car phone rang,
Right.
just don't answer it. The Chinese accent, I can't remember.
That's when they get back to the apartment and the hitmen are there.
oh
And he's
yeah,
saying there's
through
nobody
the door.
home through the door. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay, so
I mean,
that
there's
does
the Japanese gibberish.
the
he does.
Yeah.
right, that one
Yes.
has
There's a
a
point.
mild bit of tension because Loja standing right next to him
Yeah.
and thinks he speaks Japanese. So there's at least that
Yeah.
going on where he's like, he didn't pick the accent. It got, the story picked it for him.
Right.
Right.
The Chinese one, the behind the door trying to convince the mob heavies that it's the wrong apartment or whatever, an accent of some sort from Dana Carvey right there would make sense. The Indian accent thing, just don't answer the phone.
Right.
It's always dumb.
But even like the Chinese one behind the door, he very easily could have done like the Midwestern lady that he did on SNL.
Yeah.
You know?
Church lady or
Church lady.
Yeah.
an Irish accent or anything.
Literally anything.
Anything that sounds not at all like his real voice. It doesn't have to be an accent. But at least this is like the least amount of grace to give it is like, it makes sense to make it different, like as different from your own voice as possible. So maybe. So this one gets a a 2% maybe, not shitty.
Yeah.
The India one is useless and pointless.
All the
and
way
nothing.
shitty. Yeah.
Does nothing for the story. Does nothing for the characters. Does nothing other than, hey, look at what he could do.
He can do an Indian accent. Great.
And the Japanese thing was foisted upon him by the situation. So that was kind of funny of him trying to make that seem like a conversation.
Right.
Because also stakes. If he gets found out, the whole thing falls apart.
Right.
But whatever. I think the first thing I wrote down when I was thinking about this movie is that the opening song is the song that the DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, I Think I Could Beat Mike Tyson song samples.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And then that's all I got. That's all I wrote down.
My experience with this movie was that I watched it a bunch as a kid. I loved this movie and I totally forgot about it. Like I remember now like I was watching it, I was like, oh, I do remember this movie. Like I, as a 10-year-old, loved it. Like I thought that all the accents were hilarious. I don't know. I'm not saying that in this year
Sure,
that they're okay,
yeah.
But oh boy, did I answer the phone like that? Hell yeah, I did as a kid.
I can tell you something.
Did I take messages in a Jamaican accent for my parents in Montana as a 10-year-old? You're goddamn right I did. like, I mean, it was a different time. I'm not saying it's just like I would do all that. I love that. I would do George Bush, like a terrible George Bush.
Yeah.
Didn't even know what I was doing.
And the thing is, like, I'm not offended by any of it, by any stretch.
Yeah.
It's just watching it as a 36-year-old, I'm like, this is hack. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, like, it's very weird. I almost didn't want to, like, say this part because then, like, admitting that I used to do that. But, like,
I did it too.
I would leave messages for my dad on his, like, at work in a terrible, offensive Indian accent because I knew he would think it was funny.
Do it now.
Dude,
no, I'm good.
I'm a
little rusty.
I'm a 36-year-old white guy from Orange County, California. Do you think I didn't do all of the voices that he did regularly?
Right.
Of course I did.
It's a weird, for me, it's like a weird thing to process. And like, I'm like, I didn't know what I was just parroting what I was seeing.
It's, we don't need to spend any time justifying this. Like any of these things are from back then is barometers of where we are now.
Yeah.
So watching something that we liked in 1990 and then watching it now and being like, ooh, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about you in 1990.
Yeah.
Right.
It says that you grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was a
that's
child.
all it is, right?
And,
like, yes, there's bad stuff. But License to Ill.
Yeah.
Kind of probably offensive. Even they grew out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these are all just barometers. What was funny and what is, like, to retroactively or whatever. Not that this is what you were doing, but just in the general sense of, like, you can't cancel something from 1990. Like, all you could do is watch it and go, oh, look how far I've come.
Yeah.
Because that's a time capsule of what that year was.
Yeah.
So now we're here, and you could look at it and be like, this movie's okay, but you wouldn't have done that if you make that movie now.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing with Collision Course, right? Like, there are funny jokes, but there's also some really fucked up stuff in there. And at the time, it was fine.
Right. Well, right. I don't know if it's close. Collision Course, I don't know how fine it was at the time because they didn't even actually release it in America until
That's fair.
3 years later. And Collision Course is, like, overtly racist.
It is overtly racist. Yeah.
This is just Dana Carvey doing an Indian accent.
Yeah.
When he should have just done another voice because he could do a lot of voices.
Yeah.
But it was, going into this movie, you knew that was going to happen because it was the first movie he starred in. So they were going to use all the tricks. Yeah. All the Dana Carvey, whatever he could do. They did it with every time any Saturday Night Live person, unless their first movie was a sketch.
Yeah.
Turned into a movie, they always pulled their big stuff.
And, like, I had a hint of that with the first three voices, but once they did George Bush, I was like, oh, this is absolutely just capitalizing on an SNL audience.
Yeah.
Did this walk so Master of Disguise could run?
No, nothing.
No.
Or did neither of them? They both just walked.
Neither of them did.
They both went at a slow crawl.
Right. I mean, this is better than Master of Disguise.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a joke after the wedding and Milton and Mona leave the house and Lou is there and they're walking away and Lou just says, Eddie, you're wearing a coaster on your head. That got me. That was funny.
Yeah, he didn't know that.
That it's a yarmulke?
Yeah, he doesn't know it's a yarmulke.
Yeah.
Him learning he's got to be Jewish so he watches Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes, that's very funny.
It's very funny because it's what a stupid person would do.
Yes.
And also fast.
Yeah.
He's got a night to figure this out.
Yeah.
I mean, what would I do? I would probably do the same thing. But also I would do it knowing, oh, this is stupid. This is the dumbest way to do this.
Make references to it.
Right.
There's this really subtle thing, but when Lou comes over to the house for the first time, he's wearing this like kimono
with the the shining carpet on it.
But what's funny about it is later on you notice that it's on the wall. He took it off the wall.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I was like, oh my God. And they hung it back up.
That's really funny.
That little detail.
I like this movie now.
I just was like, oh my God, that thing's from the wall. That's so funny. That he just comes in there and just doesn't give a fuck. Like he's got like food all over the pool table and he's wearing
he doesn't
kimono
know
from the wall.
He doesn't know what the Dana Carvey has gotten into a con. He just thought because it took him a whole day or whatever to figure out what he meant by the stereo house.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun. That next scene
rant.
of him getting thrown out of a store called House of Stereos. It's like, oh, he didn't. And then he shows, why didn't he say the pinball house or the duck phone? I mean, duck phone.
Duck phone house
is more obvious. I don't know why he didn't say the duck phone house. He was holding the duck phone when he left that message. He was on the duck phone.
He was on it.
Calling the uncle, the preacher from Cheers.
Yeah.
The one time a priest or whatever wasn't played by the regular dude. There was one guy that was like a priest in like 8 episodes of Cheers.
Oh, okay.
His name is Eric Christmas. That's how I remember. Like, that's why I remember it. He's a real life person with the last name Christmas.
I love that.
Everybody else is in a movie.
It's fake. I just wanted to throw this in there. James Tolkien, my touchstone for him is not what yours is.
It's not Back to the Future?
It's not Back to the Future. It's Problem Child 2.
What the fuck?
Because,
What?
I watched that movie so many times that's more. I watched it way more than Back to the Future. And it was because there's like a scene in it where they throw a cherry bomb in a toilet and then give him like an X-Lax and he runs to the bathroom and then like he gets exploded on the toilet. And then the next scene, he's like wearing a cast diaper thing. And
Blew his ass up.
it's him. And like, I don't know, that scene just really had more of an impact than him.
That's
as
awesome.
the principal. Because even I now remember like when I saw Back to the Future, I was like, oh, it's Guy from Problem Child 2. Like,
I know that he was in a movie we've already done.
yeah.
And I can't remember it because I can only think of him from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But I remember having this Back to the Future conversation about him from some other thing.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Really? Did I
Not
say
that,
Problem Child 2 then?
no, you didn't. But I just remember thinking about him already for one of these movies.
We must have done a movie prior to talking about touchdowns.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
Oh, he's in Dick Tracy?
Yeah. Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
that's easy to miss because there's only
There's so much
only
makeup.
3 people or whatever that are instantly
Yeah,
You
recognized.
can
like
barely tell it's Al Pacino.
I know. I remember as an adult later, I was like, whoa, that's Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had no idea. I just thought it was someone doing an Al Pacino impression.
That movie fucking rips. I love that movie.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, that'll be a
Anyway.
fun one.
Yeah, that'll be.
I just wanted to
mention.
mention that because I thought that was a funny thing that like my touchdown was not the one that
Oh yeah.
everybody. I mean, like I do know of him from that, but
Right.
more from Problem Child 2.
It's a did we do Armed and Dangerous yet?
No.
Okay, so it's not that.
He's in Top Gun as well. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I can't think of what character he is. Probably I don't know, some general or something.
Some
Goose
real
Stinger?
shabby.
whoever that is.
I don't
who
know.
Stinger is.
Fucking Swan.
Like,
Are they all bird names? I've never seen Top Gun.
you've never seen Top Gun?
No.
Not even the new one?
Nope.
What?
I
Really?
know. There are two incredibly gay scenes between those two movies, and I need to watch it, but I haven't.
Yeah, in the second one, they made him refilm the football scene because it wasn't gay enough. Or, I mean, good enough. He made him go, like, work out more and then come back and do it again.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Doing the Lord's work.
I said this on another podcast, but I'm going to say it again. I don't think we're ever going to get another Tom Cruise because people are okay with their sexuality now.
That's fair.
So I don't think we're ever going to have someone like him ever again.
Yeah.
Just trying to fight that stigma and jump out of airplanes on motorcycles.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. I mean, Hollywood still has a stigma, so maybe
true.
with any luck,
With any
luck, we can get another.
another repressed gay man.
Another
Repressed gay Scientologist.
that can just start a new Fast and Furious franchise for us.
Oh.
Right, the Scientologist thing seems to be slowing down too.
Yeah.
Like, there's no new ones.
It got exposed.
There's no. We're not hearing any like, oh, Chalamet's a Scientologist shit.
Right.
Like, it's still just like from the '90s group.
I mean,
Will Smiths
Elizabeth
and-
Moss is one, which is sad, but
Who?
Elizabeth Moss. She's in Mad Men and
Oh yeah, but
Hill.
didn't she grow up in it? Isn't she one of the ones that
Oh, I think
where
you're
like
right.
the parents were
Yeah.
like Giovanni Ribisi? The Ribisis grew up in like their parents were Scientologists,
Right.
So they've never known another thing. For some reason, that makes it's easier for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Than just being 35
Well,
and
this-
joining any church.
Like exactly, because you're an adult with all the knowledge of an adult, and then you choose to be a part of it.
Yeah, I know a
That's
guy who
wild.
became Catholic at 40, and like all the way in, it was, and that's just as odd a choice.
That's just as wild, yeah.
as any of them. At least Scientology, you'll start getting fucking work.
Yeah.
We got any more on this
Well,
movie?
I had something I love. Well, I don't know if this is one of the answers to questions, but I love the car dismantle scene.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the montage, yeah.
Of that. Have you ever seen that in real life?
A car
Yeah, I
that
live in
dismantled
Portland.
or a car that had been dismantled?
Because when I lived in Las Vegas, I lived on this like roundabout way. I had to go down this road, and I remember there was a car parked there. And then the next day, I like drove by. It was like on blocks, wheels gone. Then the next day, like trunk got popped. It was just like the exact same thing happening, just on my
Just over like a week?
just over a couple of weeks, and then pretty soon there was just a frame. It was nuts. It was just
Wow.
like every day there would be like a little bit less of the car there.
My friends and I did that on
To a car?
to an RV
Oh, okay.
over the course of like 3 hours.
Someone else's?
So my friend owns property in Joshua Tree.
Okay.
And we just went out there for a camping trip, and one of the times someone just left. And it wasn't a true RV, it was a big camping trailer. They just left it, and where they left it blocked our view of the sunrise.
Oh, no.
So we were like, well, fucking, we're not having that.
We're not going to roll this out of there. Let's take it apart piece
Well, we
by
couldn't.
piece,
It was
baby.
a giant. We had the biggest car that we had, I think, was my Xterra at the time.
Okay.
And I didn't have a tow hitch for it. So there's
Gotcha.
just this giant fucking thing out there. So we were like, well, we're not going to miss the sunrise.
Yeah.
So we literally went and ripped the entire thing apart. But mind you, when you walked into it, it wasn't like, a welcoming camper. It was thrashed on the inside.
Yeah.
They left it on purpose.
They
Oh,
left
yeah.
it. Yeah, they dumped it.
Well, you know
So-
why a lot of those campers get dumped and why all that, right? After a certain year, you can't park them at RV places anymore.
Oh, I didn't
like
know that.
it's just there's like there's like a demarcation year because they're all made terribly.
Uh-huh.
So that's why used campers just get thrown away because after a certain point, you only can park them on like private stuff. You can't stay in campgrounds.
I had no idea.
It's dumb.
I
and
will say
weird and
we
materialistic.
we basically removed the entire center, so it caved in on itself, and we could see the sunrise. But the time that we came back after that shit was gone.
It was gone.
So someone came back and either they owned it. And we're like, okay, well.
What's
we're
that
out
movie,
in
the war one with where they dismantle an entire plane in like Africa with Nick Cage? War, something about selling
War
bullets.
Dogs?
Lord of War.
Lord of War. Thank
Lord of
you.
War.
They do that with a whole plane.
The yeah. All right. So to get back to
Sorry.
Opportunity Knocks, I will say my experience with this movie. Me and Troy loved it, and watching it now, I gotta think that a large percentage of why we loved it is because we were also Cubs fans.
Okay.
And so the fact that there's a pivotal scene at a Cubs game, I can't even remember at this moment if they show anything on the field. I think they just show seats and then the guys go into the bathroom. But there was several movies around then where people went to watch the Chicago Cubs. Ferris Bueller goes to Wrigley Field. Like that kind of stuff was fun to me.
Yeah.
The fact that Billy Crystal wears a Chicago Cubs satin jacket on the cover of Running Scared is the only reason I ever wanted to watch Running Scared.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the Year came out, but that's an actual baseball movie. So, but not counting baseball movies or movies about sports, what are your favorite movies where somebody goes to a game?
Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch.
That's the one.
I mean, it still wraps around.
That's the one.
Baseball still plays a huge role in that story.
Yeah, it is it's like 70% about baseball.
It's so wild how
actually
they they changed the ending because the goddamn Sox won.
Yeah. And they were there, right?
They were there, yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had finished. I know they finished principal photography by the time the World Series was, or by the time the playoffs happened, and then they were like in the process of finishing the editing, and then when they made the playoffs, they're like, okay, well, let's hold off and see what happens, and then just tracked it through the whole time. I was a huge Red Sox fan growing up, so I had a beat on that. I think though, actually, my answer would be, repeat the question one more time.
Just movies where they go to a game, and it's not built around the sport, but
okay, I was going to say Moneyball.
Angels in the Outfield.
Right, I mean, baseball movies are generally, I mean, to be honest, on the whole, they're more entertaining than baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Moneyball is great. Moneyball should not have been. It's about the number side of a sport.
yeah,
like it should be boring as shit, but it was fucking fun. It's good.
Great movie.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
Very well done. I can't think of. I guess my question is, and I don't know if you guys would even know, but I can't think of anybody going to a football game in a movie unless it was about people who go to football games.
I was going to say the only one I can think of is Longest Yard.
Right? That's about a football team. The Big Fan, Patton Oswalt, that's about a football fan. But, like, is there a movie where they just go to, because they go to, there's like a boxing match in Ocean's 11. It's not a boxing movie, but they show boxing. Ferris Bueller goes and watches a Cubs game. I can't.
Yes, man. They go see the Huskers.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Right. Like a college football
They
game?
go, because the whole thing is like he's saying yes to everything, and they just go to the airport and take the next flight, and they go to Nebraska and go to a game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a weird pull. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've been dying to think of NBA, like if anybody in an NBA game, and the only one I can think of is that movie called After the Sunset, where Pierce Brosnan and Salma Hayek are like jewel thieves. It was in that same run where every time Pierce Brosnan was in a movie where he wasn't James Bond, he was kind of, it's Thomas Crown.
Yeah, Thomas Crown Affair.
Mrs.
The
Doubtfire.
Tailor of Panama. And then this one, like, so it's all somehow thief related, whatever, some high end.
And Mrs. Doubtfire was just trying to steal some lady's heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Mrs. Doubtfire might be the movie he made, might be the last movie he made before he was James Bond. That seems to be right around the same time. But there's just not a lot of games or not a lot of movies where people go to an NBA game.
Yeah.
They go to a hockey game in Axel F and Lethal Weapon 3.
I feel like there's an Adam Sandler movie where they go to an NBA game.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. That makes sense. There's NBA players.
In Uncut Gems, don't they go?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he never goes to a game. It's on TV.
Watches them.
Oh, okay.
It's
For some
always
reason, I
on
thought he went.
television a lot. he gambles on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always on. He watches it.
I know for sure there's an Adam Sandler movie where he goes to a professional sporting event. And I can't place. I think it might be Big Daddy. They go to a Yankees game.
Yeah, that tracks.
Maybe, yeah. I can't remember.
I want to bring it back to the movie real quick before we take a break. What I remember loving about this movie as a kid was it's kind of like getting to spend 2 hours with Dana Carvey.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, just so many little details. Like I mean, I know we were talking about like the phone, the way where he unnecessarily answers the phone and does an accent, but it's just like that was like my favorite type of thing where it's like he made something out of nothing, and I've always loved that about comedy. So like him trying to get her to dance with him, I actually still love that scene of him like on the dance floor doing different moves and stuff. Like my husband does that to me, and I adore it. Like I love that where it's like that, like trying to get someone to come join you and they're just doing some goofy shit. Like this morning he woke me up and he's like, everybody always does strip teases. What about a tease get dressed? And so he did like a reverse strip tease. And it was the funniest thing. Like start with your socks in your mouth and in your underwear and then putting it on daintily.
That's great. That's very funny. Yeah.
That's very funny.
But like that's like taking a mundane moment and then like expanding it into something. That's something I've always loved about really good comedy. And I feel like that happens in this because it's like none of that's on the page. It's like that's just him. They're just letting him cook.
Right.
You know?
It reminds me a little of, let's say, So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah.
Of course, those two guys are linked,
right.
inextricably linked, but watching Axe Murder and watching there's almost a part of it where like no matter how much you like or dislike the movie, like I like this movie and I love Axe Murder, but when I watch it, there's still a little bit of me that's bummed out that this is the only time we get this version of him. Like, this is the only time where Dana Carvey is not in a wig or you know, and he's in that movie with John Lovitz and Nicolas Cage, but he plays a real idiot. Like, we actually get to see like the cool, capable, charming version of Dana Carvey, which we know he is because you kind of have to be that to do the job he did.
Yeah. Not
in the movie, but in general, to be on Saturday Night Live, to be a comedian, like you have that in you. Like Sandler and Coneheads is real cool. And it's one of the few times where he's actually fucking cool.
Yeah.
He's young and he's cool. He's not adult in like the new like murder mystery stuff that's on Netflix, but he's just old and married and kind of put upon.
Who was
like,
Sandler and Coneheads?
He was just a guy. He sold. He's the one who sold him passports. Like he was like French criminal.
Okay.
And he's just in one scene, but he's not an idiot. He doesn't have a voice. He's not doing a character. He's just kind of being like a cool version of Sandler, which you know he is
in Airheads. I'm trying to remember.
He's very dumb.
He's very dumb.
He's dumb
quiet
and quiet.
dumb, yeah.
Okay.
They don't. Right. He could be. He should have been, but he was, playing it up or playing it down or whatever for the laughs.
He was being like the dumb hot guy.
Okay.
Yeah. It was right. So watching this is kind of. Because Bad Boys, the original pitch or whatever, the original people linked to Bad Boys was Dana Carvey and John Lovitz.
Oh, really?
I did not know
and
that.
Then they took him, Simpson and Bruckheimer took him to Vegas for a weekend to talk about it. And just Dana Carvey was so horrified by Don Simpson's behavior that he just left. Like, didn't even stay a whole day or whatever. Just like they were having meetings. They were supposed to party and hang out. But Don Simpson was like a major, he just did a ton of cocaine.
Oh.
And after a few hours, Dana Carvey was like, I don't want to do this. I just left and went home. And you read that, you go, what the fuck would that movie be? Opportunity Knocks. I don't know what Lovitz would have done in it, but if you see.
Lovitz would have been a good Lou.
A capable, like cool, charming version of Dana Carvey, I wish I could have seen more of that in movies.
That's what I wanted from Master of Disguise, because I do remember being really excited for that movie and super disappointed.
Yeah.
Right.
All
I think
jokes aside.
the closest a combo of the two is that movie. There was that movie Clean Slate, but it was basically just like if Dana Carvey was in Memento. It was like I think he was a detective, but every day he woke up and had no memory.
That's right. I was trying to remember, and I was like, no, I thought that was somebody else, but no, that is, yeah.
But I only saw that once. It wasn't very good.
It's not.
But he still like doesn't get to be. He could be charming or whatever, but he wakes up with an empty head every morning, so he can't be that capable. Like this movie was the one time we got to see him be capable and charming.
Right.
What about like Sandler in 50 First Dates? Speaking of waking up with a clean slate.
I mean, Sandler in 50
He's
First
kinda
Dates is
just him, right?
Yeah, and that's the gimmick of that movie isn't him, it's her.
Right.
So
well, yeah, most of those rom-coms, like the stuff with Aniston and like those other things, like yeah, he is just being Sandler, but he's not being like a cool, capable, charming Sandler. He's being like a woman chasing Sandler. Like,
okay.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Other than because you want him to just do stuff. Like I just want him to do stuff.
Yeah.
Stop trying to get. So the only time we get to see Sandler be normal is when he's trying to get laid. Just let him do something else.
Mm.
And when he did Murder Mystery, it's pretty good.
I will say, I think with Sandler, I think Big Daddy hits pretty close to that because he's not trying to get laid. He's trying to take care of a kid that's not his.
I mean,
What about Chuck and Larry?
It is close.
I don't remember anything about that movie.
That is like the closest we get because
It is
he's
close.
just
That movie-
trying his fucking best.
That movie suffers from the fact that the whole thing is such nonsense.
Oh, 100%.
It was right on the edge of when they would. I mean, I do like when they make a movie without doing research.
Yeah.
They're just like, let's do it like this. They're like, that's fine. It's fine for a movie, but man, the whole like that, the last 30 minutes in the courthouse or whatever is just like, what? Why is anybody even talking?
Right.
The facts of the case are established.
Right.
This guy goes to jail for that.
Yeah.
There's no amount of, but he liked him. And the kid is like, but what about,
Right.
or the Jon Stewart guy. Like, there's no amount of any of that gets you out of the established facts of the case.
Right.
Even his dad being like, he really changed. Like, oh, cool. So all your friends and family know you're a better person now. You still did the thing.
Right.
That's where I fall apart on that movie. But,
For sure.
yeah, I mean, you're right. It is.
I'd say like that.
But it is also just Sandler with a kid.
Yeah.
It's like that dynamic.
There's still a
it's
gimmick
fun,
there.
but
Yeah.
it's a better version of Sandler than a lot of those movies at that time. But it's still not what I would have wanted to see.
Yeah.
From at least something,
Right.
one thing.
Right.
All right. I'm not going to bring up grown-ups, but
Right.
because I
Please
feel
don't.
like we'll go long.
Right, let's take a little break and we'll come back with the Raz and then the questions, and we'll be right back. All right, we're here with the Raz for Opportunity Knocks. Now, let me ask you this real quick. Have you seen this movie before? What's your relationship with this movie? Did you find out about it when I told you?
I found out about this movie when you told me.
Oh, man. All right, what'd you think? Did you answer? If Opportunity Knocks, would you answer?
You know, not this movie again.
All right, lay it on me. What makes this movie bad, man?
Well, look, dude, you know I'm a fan of accents, but even his racial accents weren't even that good, dude.
Yeah,
It was like the most, and it was late. Look, and you know me, I'm of the ilk where funny's funny and there's not a hateful bone in my body, and I'll make accents all day long. But those immediately, I'm watching it, I'm not like, what is? I'm like, it wasn't funny. It was cheesy. It was such a low. But also, this is the first time I've seen this movie. So when it came out, maybe it was funny. It was like, you know, when Wayne's World was doing Cream of Some Young Guy, you know, that stuff like that at least was adding a sexual funny joke with the accent. And it was in this movie, Opportunity Knocks, with Dana Carvey. He's just
Somebody else,
gibberish.
Somebody else at least
just
brought
wasn't
it
even-
up. The Chinese food thing or whatever, like, and it was a punchline instead of
Right.
just Also, Dana Carvey's accents still just sound like Dana Carvey. They kind of sound like George Bush doing it.
That's the thing, is he's not even that good at doing, like, they weren't even good accents. They weren't even good fake trying to mimic the accents. Do you know what I mean? And also the movie was not good. The story was cheesy. It was like, this is an interesting thing where people are like, oh, they don't make comedies anymore. And this is why, because I don't know if they ever did. I think it's like, this was also a time where they're like, oh, it's an action comedy or a comedy heist. And it's like, it just wasn't like The Secret of My Success. This is almost trying to be like a remake of that almost. And it just, I don't know. This movie was not good. It was not, the acting, the jokes weren't there. It's almost like they were like, oh, we got Dana Carvey. Back when they were greenlighting any kind of movie, they were like, fuck it, we'll greenlight this movie. It just wasn't good, dude. I don't know. I didn't finish it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't finish the movie. I turned it off when he was trying to hit on the girl in the doctor's office.
All right, perfect. All right, so this is a won't answer. Turn off the lights, pretend you're not home if opportunity knocks, huh?
Why weren't they in that house to begin with? If they found out the guy wasn't going to be there, why did they leave? Why was there anything left in that house? If they were going to break into the house, like, the movie wasn't good. Movie wasn't good.
All right, well, that's the Raz on Opportunity Knocks. What do you want to sign off with?
You know what? Just be kind to each other and yourselves.
Hell yeah, that's the Raz. We'll be right back with the questions part of the old Opportunity Knocks pod. All right, that was the Raz. Now let's get into the questions part. This is Bjorn. Bjorn takes the reins.
Let's do this. Let's make it rain. Favorite part. So you didn't see this until just now, Randy.
Correct.
What was your favorite part as a kid, like as a 10-year-old or whatever, however old you were when your brother were watching this?
Well, I would honestly, it was probably the George Bush scene.
Yeah.
All that stuff, him pretending to be George Bush.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as insane, right? It definitely doesn't seem as insane when I was watching it in 1990 as it does now.
Paper towels, bad.
The president's just in
good.
One of the regular bathrooms that anyone could be in, and he has one. Like, it's
one. It is bizarre,
right? It's, you don't pay. When I was 11 or 12, I wasn't paying attention to. Oh, there should be more security. This bathroom would probably be closed.
Yeah.
Also, he's not sitting in a seat. Like, he would be it would be at a different level entirely. What the fuck? But that part was great. And because we talked about, so you've been quoting this movie without even realizing it for 30 years.
For a long time. Like I, as a kid, I used to say, like, I wrote it down. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, the blowers thing. I would just be like doing that blower thing every time I used a blower in a bathroom. I didn't realize where it even came from. Like, and then the other one was just like, I hope everybody's thirsty. I would say that at restaurants just to make the adults laugh because they thought it was funny. Like, and I didn't even know, like, I did it so many times, I didn't even realize where it came from. I do also remember, because the George Bush scene was my favorite as a kid, and I rented this movie and then paused it so that my stepdad, when my stepdad came home from work, he could watch this part because I was like, this part's amazing. It's so funny. And I think I stood next to the TV and like did it with him. I was annoying as a kid. Okay, and now, but it's fine.
I have had in my head, I guess the difference is I knew it was from this movie, but when they go to that first lunch, and the guy has them taste wine, and he pours a little bit, and Dana Carvey goes, "What are you saving it for, there, Slim?"
Yeah.
Every single time that I have been in that kind of situation of any sort, I have thought about that sentence. Even just like if I was 13 and I was pouring Kool-Aid into my cup, and there was just a little bit left, and just a little would hit the cup, I'd be like, "What are you saving it for, there, Slim?" Then I briefly, there was a few months where I worked at a wine restaurant. So I was doing that. Like, I was Slim.
Yeah.
in that scenario, 40 times a night or whatever, 60 times a week, however, whatever it was. Every single time I did it, I would think, what do you say before they're slim? Sometimes I would even say it out loud.
Like out loud. Oh, that's awful.
And then just nobody would know what I was talking about. But yeah, that's a quote that I just use. Like it's in my, like it's like part of my language.
Yeah.
That's a quote. You
just watched
hate
it
Yeah.
for the first time, hated it. But what was your favorite part if you had to choose?
I think the George Bush scene was solid. I also really like the idea of Dana Carvey forcing everybody into a shitter for a business meeting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was my favorite part now, was I love that bathroom speech.
Yeah.
There was something, and I'll never know why, but it wasn't until like rewatching the movie recently that I realized it wasn't Milk Malton is an asshole. Because I just always thought the line was Milk Malkin is an airhead.
Uh-huh.
And that would be like the TV edit version. Because I probably saw the original version rented and then just recorded it off television. And that's the one we watched a lot. But the line is Milk Malton is full of hot air. So I just had that wrong for 35 years.
Oh, wow.
And,
happens.
like me and Troy would say it to each other. Milk Malkin is an asshole. As if we just both thought we were quoting this movie until recently. That's my relationship with this movie is he wore Cubs stuff, so I liked it.
Yeah.
I was an easy sell at 12.
I just wanted to be Dana Carvey. Like, I just wanted to be that guy that was that smooth and just like doing characters for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It's so crazy watching movies and then being like, oh, a lot of my personal sense of humor was informed by like these different things. Cause like when you first start doing any kind of comedy, you're just quoting your favorite movies. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I was doing until you start writing your own material.
And like that's me with Jim Carrey. Like his 94 lineup of movies is what informed my sense of humor.
Yeah.
Up until 97 when South Park came out.
I think mine was mostly dirty work.
Yeah.
Just Norm Macdonald going, I gotta go lift weights. What? That's my whole sense of humor.
That's your whole sense
that
of humor.
One, right? Mildred. I was just guessing, right? Like that stuff. That's where a lot of what I think is funny comes from. That and Fletch.
God, Fletch is so fucking good.
Right, Fletch is too good. But Fletch Lives. We'll end up doing Fletch Lives on this show sometime.
I'm excited. That'll be good. All right, do you guys have a double feature for this movie?
Sure do.
What is it?
Matchstick Men.
Ooh, okay.
The better version of this movie.
It is. Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, Nick Cage.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember the dude they're calling who he is.
And who's the girl?
I'll look it up. I don't know.
Right, it's his daughter, right? It's Nick Cage's daughter.
It's not actually, but that's
not right. Elliot Page?
No.
That was before they were involved in anything really.
Okay.
Right.
Alison Lohman.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Wasn't Alison Lohman in?
She was the star of Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell. That's what it is. Drag Me to Hell. That's the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have a double feature?
Oh, I did.
For
and then we started talking about
Opportunity Knocks.
And it slipped out of my head. God damn. All right, you say yours. And then...
Okay, my double feature for Opportunity Knocks is Heartbreakers.
Oh, another love con.
Another love con with Gene Hackman.
Mm.
Right, I'm going to go with, I remember mine is Who's Harry Crumb. It's another comedy great, making a movie I loved when I was 10 that has, at least one accent scene that
doesn't
regrettable accent scene.
A regrettable character situation.
Call it a 16 Candles effect.
Right. Yeah. There's one, he plays like a Hungarian or something in a scene. Harry Crumb is a detective. So it's John Candy's Fletch. He puts on disguises and whatever, but one of them he's Hungarian and it's a bit much. But at least it's Hungarian. Nobody else did that.
Right.
Do you guys have a place you wanted to go? I mean, you said the
Wrigley
house,
Field,
right? Field.
Well, the place I wanted, the person I wanted to be would have been David.
Oh,
because
okay.
of the house and the travel. I would probably actually go with Wrigley Field as well.
Oh, okay.
Right. I will say that Wrigley Field in 1990, they could have done a better job making those bathrooms look like they were at Wrigley Field, because Wrigley Field was troughs. It was all troughs.
Okay.
But yeah.
And it would just be funny to the idea of the current president pissing in a trough would be funny, even though he was in the stall, I guess, for the movie, so no one could see him.
This is a totally random, kind of sort of on the same topic. When I was living in Minneapolis, they tore down the Metrodome and put up the new stadium, and they were selling everything, and they had the trough urinals for sale, and I just want to meet the person who bought one of them and put it in their house.
Oh,
yeah, there's the trough from the Metronome.
For sure. Where did they...
Like, what?
Where is it? How long is their bathroom?
Is it in their entire 3-car garage?
Just along the back wall?
The back wall? Like...
I bought a 6... It's their gutter.
It's the gutter.
They bought all the troughs, and so their fucking rain gutters is just piss troughs.
Just giant gutters. Doesn't that get filled with snow? Like, yeah, but it's from the Metronome, dude.
Metrodome.
Yeah.
I don't want people thinking we use click tracks on this podcast.
this very rhythmic podcast.
Metrodome.
Right? We're 4/4. Everybody, most of the feedback we get is how people like that we're always in 4/4.
Yeah.
It's
I'd like
easy,
you guys to try out 5/8 at least once.
Metronome.
right? I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm getting is how easy we are to clap along to. Right?
I also love the idea of there's like a place called the Metronome Dome.
Metronome Dome.
Yeah, like a opera house. That's the Sydney Opera House.
A click track company bought naming rights. What's your favorite spot? Did you say
the house?
The house. So you had the house.
The house is
awesome.
rad.
It's like a total batch pad, dude. You got the kimono, the pinball machine.
I will say, I did look up to make sure that there were residents along the coast of Chicago.
Yeah.
Because when I saw him look out and I saw what I thought was the ocean for a second, I was like, they said this took place in what the fuck is happening in the city? And then John had to remind me, no, that's a Great Lake, and you absolutely would not see other land.
No.
Which was fine. But then I wanted, nerd brain was like, if there's not fucking houses on the shoreline of Chicago, this movie is even worse than I thought.
But it's just further up. It's further north.
I also noticed they only do use the one location of the house. Outside, there's exterior and then there's interior, and it's always the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never.
Yeah, they don't. We don't.
No bedrooms,
we
no
never even
bathrooms.
get a tour of the house. That's kind of a bummer.
We see the living room and then the entryway. That's it.
I mean, they don't even open the garage. They just pull up and park in front of
Right.
it.
There just is a car.
It's like
we see car keys and then a scene of him parking somewhere else.
Yeah.
And like, I guess those were what the keys were for.
Yeah.
this little red, not Corvette. It was
Right.
a Porsche Carrera.
I know. Pretty good, right? Pretty good for 1990.
Soft top in Chicago.
I'd be so
all the
fucked.
time car.
I can't drive a stick. So
Oh, can you, Randy?
No. I know the mechanics of it, but I've never done it.
yes, I'm aware of.
Wild.
I'm also aware of the mechanics. The clutch, and I can count 1 to 5, and I know what P and R mean. I guess there's no P in a
on
a clutch.
No, you just leave it in gear.
R and N. Neutral.
Neutral's the
Neutral is not. There's no neutral either. You just leave it in between.
Yep.
So there's just 1 through 5 and a R.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or
See?
6 sometimes.
Sometimes a 6.
Or there's crawl in some of the.
No, I don't know.
Which is a gear
I've done
between
it.
1 and 0.
I remember, this is going on 20 years ago, maybe more, when we were in Philadelphia, and I was still married, and my ex-wife went back to Cincinnati for a wedding and didn't want to drive her car all the way there from Philly. So she took mine, and I had hers, and hers was a stick, and I had to drive that to work the 4 days she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it.
You
and
did?
none of it stuck. Even by the 4th day, the fourth day was easier, and then the fifth day she was back, and I got back into my car and never knew how to do it again. I tried to drive Troy's once when we took a long trip, and as soon as we switched and we were in the car, traffic stopped, and we were going up a hill.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, sorry, man, I don't know what to do here. So we just switched.
Yeah.
And then he just had to do the rest, and I never really figured it out.
I mean, I had all my cars until like pretty recently were all stick shift. All of our cars at my house that my parents had, all my parents' cars were always stick shift, so we all had to learn how to do it if we wanted to drive.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a memory of driving in Seattle in my stick shift and getting lost because I didn't have a GPS or anything, and it sucked. Like there's some steep hills with lights, and you're just like in first gear. I heard a tip. What you do is you put in your back window. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, because people will pull up right behind you, and you're like, well, I'm hitting you. I'm definitely rolling into you because I need like 3 feet to start. But anyway, yeah, I can drive stick shift still. I think it's been a while, but my motorcycle's manual. So, you guys got a sequel to Opportunity Knocks? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see expanded on? Or
Nope.
I think
like,
that
never make me watch this movie again.
I think the natural sequel would just be
Another con.
right. They get married,
Yep, have a kid.
And then he either
Have a
like
kid,
ropes her in,
and
or
then the guy that blows up the building gets out,
Mm.
or
That's
or the pinky guy.
I think
the
it had to
second
be the
heavy
pinky
shows
guy,
up.
because like the other guy blew up the IRS. He's not getting out for a very long time.
Yeah, but the pinky guy comes back, sees him,
Yeah.
finds out where he is. Something happens. Because they're not going to leave town. If they get married, they're not leaving town. He's not leaving town. He's still going to be in Chicago. And he's
Right.
probably the fact is he lied about his name, but everything he did for that company, he did.
Yeah, he was
Right.
legit.
So they might have even kept him on.
They're just kind of showing how all ad men are just con men. Like
Right.
advertising
Yes.
is just being a really good con man.
Correct. That's what sales are.
It's being
Sales.
clever. It's being clever and quick, and that's it.
And you can
Those
snooze
are-
people.
Those are all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the same things that Con-Man needs. It's a similar, right? So he's a DEI hire. They're using life experience. I
You
know.
can put that on your resume for your application.
I don't think a lot of
You're like,
lot
yeah, I
of
haven't
people
sold
that,
a lot of cigarettes, but I have done a couple of cons. I know how to get money from people. That's
Right.
like,
I don't think it's. I don't think anybody listening thinks that we're bad. Like that is what it is. Like if I tried to get a job in advertising,
Yeah.
I would be a DEI hire because I don't have the credentials. I just have the experience.
yeah.
So that's what it is. So anybody who thinks it's something else,
And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb
It's
and say
wrong.
I want the advertising industry to stop hiring fucking comedians because I'm tired of how good the ads are now. It pisses me off that it's just like,
Man, you and I are not watching the same ads.
I'm so mad at all of the ads right now.
I mean,
They're
all,
all
of these ads are very funny for commercials.
Yeah.
They're not like actually funny, but they're like Geico and Progressive or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
crushing
you guys are killing it for commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like as far as the comedy,
I like only exclusively get Liberty Insurance ads.
No, I hate them.
and I like
They're the bad version of the Geico ones, which are good.
it's the Christian rock version.
Yeah, they're the Christian rock
It's
version.
3 years later. Oh, we need to do this thing is popular now.
And now they're self-referential. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's-
stop it.
It's all
They're calling back a joke that I hated in the first place.
yes,
Pisses me off that I know the reference
yeah, because they're everywhere.
because it's everywhere. Anyway, did you have a sequel? Or
No,
same?
he wants
No,
this
I-
movie
None.
to end.
You want this to end? Do you have a
Done with this movie.
recast? Anybody got a
Yes.
recast for Opportunity Knocks?
oh, I did the whole fucking thing.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh, baby.
Yep, sure
All right,
did.
I only did 2.
I did a few of them. So in place of Eddie, Dana Carvey's character, Jack Quaid.
Oh, all right. So you're up. Yours is an
It's a current-
update.
It's an update. It's
A
an update.
reboot
Who's,
recast.
where would I know Jack Quaid
Scream 5, Companion, the new movie Companion.
The Boys.
from? Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
He's in an upcoming movie called Novocaine.
he's great. He's great, and he fits that character perfectly. I think. Just so happens I thought about this when I was watching Companion. In place of Lou, I'm putting Kieran Culkin.
Oh yeah, they kind of.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a resemblance, at least a haircut resemblance.
Right. And also he's turned into like such a great comedic actor. I think he can pull off a lot of what Lou was doing pretty well. In place of
just kind of playing off of whatever the other person was
exactly.
doing.
Yeah. Exactly. And then as my legacy recast, I am recasting Milt as Dana Carvey instead of Robert Loggia.
Oh, Carvey. All right.
Yeah. Annie, in place of Annie, I'm putting Sydney Sweeney.
Okay. She's real high right now.
Yep. In place of Principal Strickland, I am putting Glenn Howerton.
Oh, okay. All right. He could be a real hard ass.
And this is a super inside baseball recast, and it's based purely on looks and the fact that I know he could do it. In place of Pinky, I'm putting Sandy Danto.
Oh yeah.
Right?
How do I know? How should I know Sandy?
Sandy's a comic.
Okay.
He's very funny.
Regular opener for Pauly Shore, Adam Ray, Josh Wolf.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was here with Josh.
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw him.
Yeah. And then swapping I'm going to have it rewritten and directed by Shane Black.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now it's just a good movie.
No, it's just a good movie.
It's just a good comedy.
Yeah. I don't. I always think about it at the time, and my main thing about this movie is it should have had more SNL.
Sure.
Like Phil Hartman should be.
So
in it.
I had Phil Hartman for Lou. That was the only recast that I think would have really he needed more of a.
See,
I feel like
I was
a
thinking
grounded character.
Lovitz for Lou.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman is the mentor, the
uncle. Phil Hartman would have been great in that role.
And then
I mean, and they don't even have to be that far. Like they're not that far apart in ages, but there was no real reason for it to be. You just need those two characters to be a little older than Eddie. They don't have to be 40 years older.
Right.
So you put like Nora Dunn and Phil Hartman as the mentor couple.
Yeah.
Throw in like maybe Jan Hooks as the Annie character, the love interest. Right. I think if it's going to be like, that's all I could think of was why wasn't there more? Why is the only SNL guy Dana Carvey?
Yeah.
And then the only other comedian is Del Close, the guy who invented pretending.
Del Close is in it?
Yeah, he's in a scene. Del Close is the Second City founder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't talk anything about the song. He sang the song "Born to Be Wild." That was fun.
Yeah, I glazed
Oh
over
yeah.
That scene upset me, so I didn't bring it in.
I love the rocker dude, just like
I love the DJ. No, the reason that bothered me so much is that he's just sheepishly reading the lyrics off a sheet and then goes into it once he's threatened. I'm like, you knew the lyrics the whole fucking time.
I love
Well,
that.
It's I could relate completely because it's a guy who doesn't want to do karaoke, so he's not committing until he has to.
Sure, and I'm not even saying he has to commit in the way that he did, but don't read the lyrics if you know the lyrics. Just be sheepish about it.
That's a good point.
That's true.
It was fun to see that was how they did karaoke then. And you're just like, I would like to do whatever. Tuesday's Gone. And then the guy just rifles through a folder and finds a printed up lyric sheet. Here you go. Have fun.
Cues up the CD.
Yeah.
Or tape at the time.
Yep.
All right.
Vinyl.
Yeah, the vinyl finds the track. Hang on, it plays a little bit of the last song. That's what a fader's for. You faded it. Okay. Do we have recats? I mean, the other one I had was I wanted Gene Hackman to be in this movie for some reason.
Well,
Dude,
yeah,
Gene Hackman
I think he would've
in
been
Robert
great.
Loggia's part would have been awesome.
I think they were pretty interchangeable. That would have been a cool.
Well, that's where we get to. That's the market correction or whatever. Like Robert Loggia was was in Scarface, because of the Loja part of his name, he could play. It doesn't have to be like they could figure out a way to make him not have to be a white guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But everything else, it seems like a lot of the Loja stuff would be stuff that Gene Hackman would turn down.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like. So like, Gene Hackman's never going to do this movie.
No.
So
Right.
Loja's the pick. Gene Hackman does this movie, and that means everyone else they have to level up everyone else in the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's not just going to sit there and do the with Dana, like it's not going to be Dana Carvey. It would be like one of the kids from the time, like Kiefer Sutherland or something.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be funny.
It'd be bad. All right. Do you have a description that's technically right but not great?
Got a couple.
Opportunity knocks.
Sure do.
Cool. I didn't write one this time
I have 3.
because this movie is just so perfect. I just can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I bet that's why you did it. First one. A bathroom board meeting yields successful results that positively affect no one in particular.
I like that.
A con man is put on the spot for karaoke and doesn't remember he's a con man until his life is threatened.
I love the tone of this so much. Keep going.
My last one. A lady has her trust violated by a con man, but isn't 100% free of responsibility when she assumes and accepts a marriage proposal after knowing a man for about 2 weeks.
Or months. It's unclear.
Not clear.
What I find shocking about this movie is that it did kind of predict those ads at urinals,
Yep.
Yeah.
but the fact that there are not ads on the backs of stall doors yet feels like a miss. Like that would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna.
Like that is a spot
Yeah.
where you could sell ads, and the fact that they're not, it's a surprisingly good idea from
like-
this guy.
It's like almost weirdly sexist. It's like, yeah, we'll put them behind the urinals for the guys, but we're not for the ladies sitting down.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sit down to do your business, we ain't advertising to you.
Yeah.
It should be on the backs of the walls in the men's stalls, because when a dude is sitting down, he's got a little time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen print ads on the back of stall doors before.
Yeah, but it should be ubiquitous.
I agree. I'm just saying they don't not exist. Sorry, I didn't yes and that. I kind of tanked that.
It's all right.
That's all right. You didn't even know Del Close was in the movie. Why would I assume?
Yeah,
you know
why would you
what
have
yes
the
How
and means?
close is?
All right. You got anybody? Did you have a
No.
alternate description or whatever? Do you have a better title for Opportunity Knocks?
The Stereo House.
The stereo,
Stereo
house.
House.
That's good.
Did you have a
no, I didn't
better
go with
title?
Pinky and the Brains.
Pink.
any.
That was better. That was good.
That's great.
Better title for Opportunity Knocks. I've Hot Air, The Love Con, and Con with the Wind.
Con with the Wind. Love Con is pretty good.
Love
like,
Gun's solid.
I can't believe the Love Con isn't the name of a movie.
Yeah, it's a great title.
Yeah.
I already forgot the first one I said, but neither of the ones I said should be the names of movies. Should they? The House of Stereo. It's like the House of Gucci, but it's just follows
House of Stereo.
it just follows that store. We just find out what goes on in that store.
Yeah.
So high fidelity.
Yes, leave it Larry's.
Also, were there any people in that building that they dropped?
No, they did on the weekend. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that little deep.
They wanted
No
it done
janitors or
before
anything.
Monday.
Oh, okay.
Right? They never say specifically that's why. It kind of feels like they're trying to push it through so that because it's like, I guess it's Friday when they're having this conversation, and they're trying to get him to do it quick so that it's done before Monday, so nobody can stop him,
Right.
and there's nobody for him to run this past. But don't look too hard on it.
Don't.
How did he get inside? How did he set the charges?
The IRS is a public building. It's just open.
Yeah. All right. I just have the how should this have ended? Is there an alternate ending?
Yeah, it's her not marrying him.
Not marrying him.
Yeah.
Like that's the real ending is she doesn't, Harold says his stuff, and he makes good points. Harold does. it's interesting the way, thank God he's gone, coming around, making us laugh. That kind of thing is
Yeah.
He makes a good point, but she should have just ran out and but not married him.
Yeah.
That part, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or she cons him. That's what I wanted to see.
Oh,
God, that'd
sure.
be so amazing.
She I don't know how, just says, yeah, I'll marry you, and then doesn't show up, or puts somebody else, hires a prostitute to be under the veil, and then ha-ha!
Right?
And she's gone.
He gets
with the wind.
He gets
there it is.
Right? He gets married fucked like Jacob from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yes.
He tries to marry he wants to marry that one lady, but they trick him into marrying the other lady, so he got worked there for 14 years so he could get the real lady he wants, his second wife. So now he's married to sisters. This is from the Bible.
All right. So did we watch this movie so you don't have to?
Yep.
I knew it.
Randall watched
Sure
it so you don't
did.
have to.
I don't know. I'd recommend it. I kind of want Paul to watch it. He didn't watch it with me, so I might rewatch it. I really, it's like hanging out with Dana Carvey for 2 hours. I loved it.
I mean, this is a movie that I watched it for the podcast, but if it hadn't come up, I probably would have watched it at some point this year. I enjoy it enough to watch it every few years. It's definitely not one that I'll just watch 100 times, but I'll probably get to 10, 15, whatever before life is over.
And watch it.
I'm talking about how I have access to it now.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch it 3 or 4 times since I put it in my iTunes library. I have no idea. I can't remember how many times I saw it before. I probably already at 15.
Yeah. I mean, I never owned it. I just rented it multiple times. Did you rent movies multiple times as a kid? 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
And now I'm just I've watched that once. I'll never again. There's too much.
There are movies that I have tried to watch and failed. And then there are movies where I watch it once and sometimes because it's good but fucked up, and sometimes because it's bad and it's a waste of my time that I'll never watch again.
Right. So you just saw Old Boy. Is that the first one? How many? Do you think you ever watch that one again?
I would watch Old Boy again. Yeah.
It'd be a while.
But
I need to put 5 years.
But there's a movie out there called Irreversible. I will never watch that movie again. It's a great movie, and I refuse to ever lay eyes on it again.
Perfect.
It's so fucked up.
I'll never watch it.
That's how I feel about 8mm. I rewatched it and was like, why did I watch this movie? I will
that's good to
never
know.
again.
So I saw it in the theater and was and never want to see it again. And then recently I've been I don't know.
Nope.
It's just,
Same thing.
It's pretty fucked up.
yeah.
It's just
fucking dark.
I was like, I just don't need this. There's so many better
Okay.
other movies.
It was also how I didn't know. I never heard about snuff films until that movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I don't
so
know
that
what
was-
it's about. I have no context for it.
Okay. We'll talk about it off mic.
Okay.
But I do want to say, just before we give the reveal of the thing, I want to say one thing I do like about rewatching a movie, and it's almost like this is my almost like giving a recommendation, is if I'm stressed out, I actually like watching a movie I've watched a lot of times because I know it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And it calms my anxiety.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
As opposed to oh, I'm anxious, I'm going to watch something, and then you're just I don't know what's happening, everybody. And then it gets worse. Third act twist. But it's if I've seen it, it's yeah, let's watch Jurassic Park.
Well, that's why for my birthday I did The Mummy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it 1,000 times.
You know everything's going
I
to
know
be fine.
everything that's going to happen. I don't give a shit if people riff over it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a movie I want to shut the fuck up and watch. It's on in the background, or I am watching it with friends and we're making fun of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I was stressed out the other day and we watched Speak No Evil, and then that was not helpful. Not helpful.
No, that sounds terrible. That sounds like a horror movie.
It is. It's
Why would you do that?
More thriller. More thriller is what I would say. But
No.
nah. All right. Well, what are we
Jeff's
watching
out.
next?
All right. The next movie is, we're a few weeks late. We're going to figure this out. But it's our Gene Hackman tribute. We're going to watch. It's called Narrow Margin. Stars Gene Hackman. Emmett Walsh is in it. J.T. Walsh is in it. No relation. This movie's great. Ann Archer. It's a solid movie. Mid-tier Gene Hackman. Solid picture.
All right.
I can't wait to find out what you guys think about it.
All right.
So that's next. Narrow Margin.
And do you want to close this out?
Oh, how do I forget? Oh, do we have
Meeting adjourned?
Oh yeah.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.